All right, it was Pokemon Day this past weekend, and that means a new Nintendo 3DS bundle here. I had the Ambassador version, which was nice, but it got a little frustrating having to use rebuying things through a foreign Nintendo DS store and not being able to play all the games that I had already bought for my 3DS. So it's nice to see this come to America, the smaller new Nintendo 3DS. It was released earlier with the Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, and I almost picked that one up, but then I saw this Pokemon one announced. I'm like, that's the one I will get. It does come with red and blue pre-installed and some cool faceplates, and we'll show it off here. And this is the kind that can read the amiibo and all that good stuff. So we open up the box here, and inside, there's no AC adapter included with these, but they use the same AC adapters as previous 3DSs, so if you upgrade, you should be covered. And inside the bag here, we've got all kinds of stuff. You get the AR cards, the new Nintendo 3DS, the quick start manual, as well as how to replace the covers here. In the back, it also came with a code for red and blue version 3DS themes, so I may download those later. I don't know. I may use that code. I may give that code away on Twitter or something, because I did just get with the Mega Man Legacy Collection I got the other day. I got some Mega Man themes in there, quite cool, and you'll see those here in a second. And then also inside you get the Blastoise cover plates. Here's one of the Charizard plates. The other one is attached to the system itself already. And then some cardboard. That's all that's left in the box. So you get the system out, and it's missing, as you see, it's missing the top cover plate. The Charizard plate is already attached. That's probably the one I will leave on here for a while, although I will swap this out to my 1-Up Mushroom plates at some point. So yeah, so these screw on. And that's what the only real drawback of the new, this smaller 3DS, in that the SD card for this is under this plate, so you have to unscrew it to swap out the micro SD card that it uses. But then the plate, it's got two tabs on it, and you just the top plate, you just slide right into here and snap it on. And if you ever need to take them off, there's a couple little grooves here on the side that allow you to just pop these, at least the top plate right back off, and then the bottom plate once you unscrew it. And of course, when you open that up, it gives you a cool looking Charizard art. And there's a nice matte finish on these, excuse me. And I feel like my 1-Up mushrooms, I can't remember 100%. I have to find them. I put them somewhere when I took them off and can't find them yet. But I feel like they were a little smoother, but it's got a nice finish on them and all that stuff. And of course, if you swapped out the Blastoise plates, you'd have that Blastoise art on the back of your 3DS. You see it's got the colored buttons. I do like these colored buttons, these Famicom controller type buttons here. It's got a second C stick, which is really more of like a nub, but it does work. I've used it in Smash Brothers a few times. It does work for throwing off smashes and things. And just all around laid out a little nicer. So we'll go ahead and turn it on here. See, it's already got fingerprints all over it. And there's the Mega Man theme from the Mega Man Legacy Collection, which makes it look like the title screen. And all the games inside, you can see I got Mega Man Legacy in there, and some other games on there. Outside of that, it's your standard 3DS. It's got these buttons here, and it does have the two extra, the ZR and ZL buttons, so secondary triggers up here on the top. Oh, I opened up the Nintendo eShop accidentally. I'm not connected to the wireless here, so. Okay. But yeah, so you can see all that. Here's all my Mega Man games. I got the Legacy Collection yet. I have 1 through 6 already on here on the and Mighty Gunvolt there. I love these folders. All my Metroid games, apps. This is just a bunch of Nintendo, all my Nintendo DSware games. A lot of these I got for having a DS early. The Ambassador games they gave us. But there's Pokemon Red and Blue, which did come pre-installed. And then Zelda games right here. Although I haven't put Link Between Worlds in there yet, because I still play that from time to time. Shovel Knight's always fun. So yeah, size-wise, we'll go ahead and close this up real quick. Here is the new 3DS XL, which again has those same extra buttons. And you can see it's a little smaller much, in the standard way that 3DSs are smaller than the XL, but just to give you a size comparison there on how much smaller it is, kind of fit there in the center of the system itself. And if you open it up, you can see you can see the much larger screens of the 3DS XL versus the new 3DS. I like the XL. It's been a good system. I like having the new 3DS. The amiibo functionality in it is really great. But I like the system, this particular new 3DS system. It's smaller. It feels more comfortable in my hands a lot of the way. Like I can support this in my hands and play comfortably, whereas on the 3DS XL, I could play, but where the game slot is, when I support it in my fingers, it ends up digging kind of right into my finger, and that's uncomfortable for playing for any length of time. Now, I know there are other ways to move it, but the way I hold it most comfortably in my hands digs in there. I can move it so I'm not touching that part, but then it makes it a little harder to hold it. So yeah. Now you have to unscrew the back plate here to put the SD card in as well. But these plates don't swap out on this one, which is unfortunate. If they'd had a swapping plate on the larger version, I might have been a little cool with that. But I really do like that. This one does have the colors, the letters themselves in the colors, but there's something just very visually appealing. Aside from just the size of it, I like the white. It's got a nice matte feel all around it. But I really like these colored buttons, these old Famicom colored buttons here on the controller. And the extra stick is nice. So yeah, the new 3DS XL, either one I think, or not XL, I think either one of them is nice. If you have a chance to get, whether you get the Happy Home Designer or the Pokemon version, and hopefully they'll bring more versions of this out in the States, because for a while we weren't going to get it at all. I'd like to see a black version come out, because there's some plates that look much better on the black version. But I like the customizability of it. I like the idea of the plates to pick up, and you can swap them out and make it a little more unique than just the two colors of DS. I like the white, the kind of off-white color of this one. So yeah, I think the standard new 3DS is, like I said, I prefer that system over the XL. But for a while, in order to play American games, the only way to play them was to get the XL. And I think this one's a much nicer system. It just has a feel to it that I enjoy, and I really do like those cover plates. So anyway, enough of my ranting about video game systems and things. I know I haven't done that often, but yeah, new Nintendo 3DS XL with the Pokemon Red and Blue cover plates. I do think it would have been nice if we could have gotten yellow on here as well, pre-installed, and maybe a set of yellow Pikachu plates. Although there are plenty of Pikachu-themed plates already available to buy. There's some available. A lot of them you have to import from Japan, but the Nintendo shop, the actual Nintendo store, does have a few options for cover plates if you want to get them. And I assume we'll probably see more of those show up in the States, hopefully sooner rather than later. The new Nintendo Loyalty Club, whatever club Nintendo is becoming, is going to be soon. I signed up for the Miiverse or whatever it was to get some coins already, or whatever they're going to use in exchange for that. But so I'm looking forward to seeing what we get in the new whatever club Nintendo has evolved into. Also, one of the benefits of this one, and it's something you can get on the Nintendo shop that I was talking about, this one has, you see, this one does too. It has a couple little ports there on the side of the controller. And I'm wondering if that's just a similar motherboard. This one has a charging cradle that you can just, instead of having to plug it in every night, you plug the cable into this little cradle, and you just drop it in the cradle like that, and it just sits in there and charges without having to. So when you want to go, you just pick it up and go. You don't have to worry about catching the plug on anything. You shouldn't have to if you're being smart about it anyway. But I do like the charging cradle, so I'll have to drop that into there. But yeah, it's a nice system. I'm going to stop ranting now. But yeah, it's the Pokemon Red and Blue 20th anniversary of Pokemon. I'm looking forward to Sun and Moon. I hope we do eventually get some form of Z out there, just because I want to play with the upgraded Zygarde. But Pokemon Go, me and my daughter are both super excited for Pokemon Go. I hope we get that. Hope we get more news on that soonish. But there is the new Nintendo 3DS 20th anniversary Pokemon system. Go ahead and set them down like that so you can see them. No, whatever.